Hey, Ash, Jackie, bro.
Yep. Old Dunlap.
I ain't know who you are.
Your best friend. They sure do, Jackie.
I know who. Both of it. If they listen to this, if you listen to the first time, you just got their names.
Yeah, if you're listening to this, episode 146 of our podcast.
Well, I don't know why anybody would start
at episode 146.
If you was going to say, oh, listen to this thing that they do on the computer, put it up in the hit the play or have it goes. You started the first one, wasn't you? I don't.
Well, I would say when you read people reviewing podcasts or series of entertainments, they say, oh, this is a good one for the newbie. So if we got any noobs listening to us for the first time. And, Jackie, when we get done with this on the...
no one's going to tell anyone to listen to this particular one. No one's going to pick this one out.
I'm going to predict it right now. This is going to be legendary as our greatest podcast ever.
No.
This is the one.
It ain't going to be no different than the other ones.
I can feel it in my bones.
What's the difference between a good and a bad one of these?
Not much.
I don't know the difference.
We walk a fine line
between
awful and unlistenable.
Yeah.
But this one, I think people are going to say, okay, I listened to a bunch of these. I don't know why. But if you want to try to figure it out, listen to 146. Episode 146 came out the weekend of August 23rd, 2015, Sunday, August 23rd, 2015. That is when Red State Updates podcast put out its greatest episode ever. If you're not going to enjoy that one, you might as well throw your iPhone in the goddamn river because
watch it.
You ain't going to get no enjoyment out of that thing ever. Just throw it.
I wouldn't get no enjoyment out of it to begin with.
Who cares what you say? You are old. Your opinions are meaningless.
Well, if nobody cares what to say, what the hell they listen to this for? That's all I do on here is talk on it.
Mock you.
Mock me.
I just got a news alert. This is good. This is a current events podcast.
Yeah.
Now, on my phone, I just got a news alert. So I'm going to pull my phone out of my pocket. It comes from the Washington Post. Big news day, Jackie. National Zoo's giant panda gives birth.
Yeah.
That come on my phone buzzed in my pocket and told me.
Well,
Washington Post sent me out a little alert.
That's why everybody got to pay $100 to get one of them. So you know when the animal comes out or gets born, whatever.
I wouldn't have known this for like an hour.
Yeah.
Or 30 minutes. Next time I check my phone.
What's your difference between your life before and after, panda bears in a zoo?
Well, I'm thinking a lot more about panda vaginas.
All right, enough.
I'm imagining the whole messy process.
All right.
Of panda birth.
That's nature. You sit there, something beautiful happen in nature, you're the one to sit there and talk about it like always this or that. That's what it is. You don't like how, some things are to be discussed and some things ain't, but I lived on a farm. I saw all sorts of animals get born.
But you see, how many different kind of animal vaginas you seen?
It's not. You just watch it. It's not like you staring at that unless something's wrong. You gotta help out the process. Reach in there and get a hold of that. If a horse cow. Sometimes that's what happens. You gotta do it.
Okay, we can salvage this.
No. You want to talk about this.
It's their greatest episode. Once you make it past Jackie talking about reaching his
you the one talking about it.
You want inside a horse pussy.
You don't have to call anything that. No, you the one talk about panda on the phone, and then you want to talk about it, and I say, well, I have real life experience in that back in the day, growing up on farm, and now all of a sudden, now you talking about it, you're old, nobody cares about it now. See, it don't matter what the subject is.
Well, I'm sorry, I did not think about your extensive experience arming vaginas.
It's not every time. Sometimes something goes wrong, animal get hung up somehow. All sorts of things. I've seen Lord, you don't even want to know things I've seen on the farm, how animals turn out in, situations. It's just the way the world is, I guess.
It is an awful. Just going by farm births, it's an awful world.
Well, no, it ain't.
And then you
That's
get into people and what they're doing to each other, it don't get no better. So if those are the two, if you start at farm births and then go to man's inhumanity to man, it's like, ugh, awful.
Yeah, well, you're right about that. Yeah.
Climb back up in there, baby panda, because ain't nothing out here you want to see.
All right.
Climb in there and pull it shut before Jackie gets over there and starts reaching up in there trying to
What if an animal
pull down
was,
a little sign that says "Closed for business."
Oh,
On
if
one
an
of them
animal's
blinds,
sick,
like
something's
on a
wrong, ain't right. You
cartoon.
gotta
Reach up in there, sure.
Those animals are your
animal is so
responsibility.
sick.
Those animals rely on you. That's right. You get up 4 or 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
Before the rooster crow get out
Before
there.
anybody can see you.
But that's right. You get out there and put
Sneak
the corn
around
down, put
back
the
of the
feed
barn.
down. Not sneak around. The animal's ready for you to feed them. That's how you get your day
Oh,
started.
they're ready for you.
Out
I'm
in the
sure
cold.
they are.
That was my upbringing back in. That's nobody knows what that's like now. I think even people at the farm, it ain't the same way it used to be. I seen those things, and I know I don't want hippies thinking whatever about me, because I know that's what they's mad about. They showed me on the computer, hippies mad how chicken made, or how chicken, growing chickens. They just piled on top of each other. That I don't think that's natural right there. Me personally. The chicken's supposed to walk around, be able to,
Yeah, like so you can get your arm up in them.
No, you don't put your arm up in a chicken. I'm talking about those chickens, if they all piled up on one of each other, and I ain't no hippie or nothing, treat the animal right, you're still gonna eat it. I ain't vegetarian. If you're vegetarian, you don't like how the animal's taken care of, any which way you're ready to eat. Don't matter how you take care of the animal. It don't make any sense to me. But
some vegetarians would say, I don't care if people eat meat. I'm not going to eat meat.
Well,
And some vegetarians would say, I don't care if people eat meat, but be not, there's good ways to kill an animal.
There's better ways than
There's
others.
better ways to kill an animal than others.
I don't want to see nothing suffer. You go to get it done with. There's some mean people but to me, the way they got all them chickens piled up on each other, now granted it's a chicken, and chicken ain't the smartest thing in the world as far as, but still they, up on top of one another, just piles of chickens there. And
you thinking of tribbles?
No, I ain't thinking. They can't walk or can't move and stuff. Now, I don't, everybody gonna get mad at me right now. Now, let hear me out. I ain't what you call it, the eaters, Peters. I ain't that. I ain't like those poor chickens or whatever. It ain't about that. I just don't think that's a good way to get your meat,
You remember a chicken from back in the day, the healthy way you raised and killed
Healthy raised
They
chicken.
walked around in the yard. You had a name for them.
Yep.
Myrtle.
Yep.
Beth.
Yeah. Well, not those necessarily. Different. I don't think
Veronica,
I had you name
Allison.
a rooster. I don't think I named all the chickens. I remember a rooster that was named.
Connie.
But other than that, no, you don't name a rooster Connie. I can't remember what to call him. I don't know, Red or something. Big Red, whatever.
And then you stick your arm up in them, and then you
don't
kill 'em
put
for
your arm.
Sunday
An egg is different than a horse. Now you're just trying to talk filthy. You're not paying attention to what
You're the
you're
one
saying.
that's like, I did it with this one, and I did it like that with that other one. I got my arm up
I
in
didn't
there.
get up. All I said is what I didn't go in specifics about. I said sometimes that's what has to be done.
No,
Not
sure.
all the time, but sometimes.
Sometimes they're asking for it.
No, they ain't asking for it. The animals are your responsibility. You're supposed to take care of them. If you the one that's got to do it, you do it.
Right.
If you don't know how to do it, you get the. We used to have.
They call you in. If somebody else doesn't know how to do it,
No,
they
now
say,
you
Jackie
call
knows
me
how to
in.
get up in there. Call him.
Back in, years ago, I growing up, they had I can't remember his name. He was a people doctor and an animal doctor. And if something was happened to a mule or horse, whatever, you couldn't figure it out, you'd get him over there, and it's pay him in the livestock, things like that. It's good to give him, a goat to fix a cow or whatever, or after it's already cooked, give him a home-cooked meal. But he'd come over and, tell you whether you had to put him down or not.
Did he ever help a cow get born?
He did all sorts of things. I can't remember all
and
he did.
And then he just took that calf with him home as payment?
No. Didn't work that way, no.
Did you let him shower?
What?
Clean up? After he
well,
pulled
yeah,
something out of a
you take
vagina?
water and all that stuff out there. Some people prepared for that sort of thing. Depending on. It's a lot of different factors. I don't want to get into it all. You're the one that said you didn't want to hear about it to begin with. I'm just saying you take responsible for an animal. It ain't all just petting its nice head and it wagging its tail or whatever. It's a lot more than that. It's a lot of things.
It's also
you
their
do.
Vaginas.
If you won't keep bringing it up, fine. Yeah, there's some of that. It's all sorts of things happen to an animal. They get boils, tumors. You got to know how to cut and burn that up, or get it if that's if it's sick, needs to be put down. Don't want the animal suffering. You got to know about that. There's all different sorts of things about animals. I don't know it all, and just I watched Animal Planet back in. You relied on your daddy and my older brothers. Some of them, they knew how to do it better than I did.
Who do you think was the best at getting up in that vagina?
All right.
Of your brothers.
That's it. I ain't gonna talk about it anymore.
Which one do you
think? You just won't try to be. Yeah. I'm glad I ain't a horse that you own. I'll say that right now. Or any other animal.
Oh, I'd be like, yeah.
No.
Get on up here, Jackie Horse.
Yeah,
you ride. You go faster.
Be abusing an animal. Yeah, that's real. That's cute.
Just
that's
you.
Real funny.
Not a normal horse. You, I would.
What is?
And then I'd be nice to you, too. I'd feed you real good, and I'd give you water, and I'd brush your silky coat.
Those are the fun things to do with the animal.
That's behind closed doors.
Yeah,
but out in public, I'm going to let everybody know that I'm the boss of you.
You got to shoe them. There's so many different things you got to do. There's so many responsibilities. Some people, that's the reason when the little girls go, Daddy, I want pony. They don't get them.
Because they don't deserve it.
Well, it's not that they deserve it. They ain't old enough to know what all goes into responsibility to take care of animals.
Right. What goes into an animal is your arm.
No.
You got to pick out a hat for a horse. You're right.
Well,
a lot of
things.
You
don't pick out a hat for a horse.
And get a little bowler hat, like an odd job hat for you, Jackie Horse. Yeah. Eat this sugar cube. So this is, we're about 13 minutes into the greatest episode of the Red State Update podcast.
It ain't no different
ever recorded.
It ain't no different than the rest of them.
Maybe a little dirtier.
Some trying to talk about something and you being stupid. That's about all. This is just like the rest of them.
If you like what you hear, feel free to work your way backwards through the catalog of older episodes. They're all available on iTunes or however you get your podcasts.
That's right. Facebook's, YouTube's, iTunes.
They ain't going to get any better than this.
Twitters, and rates and reviews.
If you think this is awful, then just give it up right now, because don't bother going back and looking at any other ones. This is the best one, the greatest one.
People still do rates and reviews.
Anybody rating and reviewing us?
Well, you read some, touch my heart. Now, there's a few in there people don't like it.
We got a lot of nice notes when we did our Kickstarter. A lot of people said we really appreciate all that.
I ain't talking about that. That's over and done with. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about race reviews. You says it's on Twitter's, Facebook's, and Chachi. You get on there and read the review. You used to. You ain't done it, and I guess I didn't know if they ain't doing it no more.
Listen.
Yeah? What is it?
You hear that siren?
Huh?
It's gone now, but you heard it. Did you hear it earlier?
No, I didn't hear it.
It was going over in Longhorn's dancing parlor, probably.
Well, right. Is it? Now, this time of day? I thought that's what you call the little Longhorns.
Yeah, they got little Longhorns for kids where they teach them how to fight and dance and drink. But that's at night too, isn't it? I think that's at night. They have it roped off so that single parents can bring their kids and they can teach them how to.
Don't matter what time of day it is over there. There's always somebody getting into something.
They may be going over there to throw some water on some kids. Like a couple kids could have been scrapping in class and it spilled over into real life. You know how when you take a fight class, sometimes that spills over into real life?
Fight class, you don't take fight class. You take things like boxing and you take things like karate. You don't take fight class.
Well, Little Longhorns, you learn how to get down and dirty and defend yourself in a real life situation.
Well, there's good knowledge to have, I guess, but I thought...
They give them toy switchblade knives.
What? They don't get not.
And one student always gets the real switchblade.
Yeah.
So you don't know who that is. So you got to be careful when you pick a fight. So what might have happened is somebody said, oh, Troy ain't got the real switchblade. I'm going to call him a stupid idiot.
All right.
And then Troy does have the real switchblade, and they may be sewing up a 7-year-old. That may be what's happening over there at Little Longhorns. That's Little Longhorns. Not a sponsor today, but... I'll give them a shout-out. It's nice to see people giving something back to the community like that. Local businesses helping out the children.
I got a sponsor today, yo.
You got a sponsor?
I got a sponsor I got to do.
Did you say I got a sponsor, yo?
I said I got a sponsor to do today.
Sound like you said I got a sponsor, yo.
I am.
Like you was...
I sounded like that. Didn't mean to. I don't know. Got a sponsor. Yes. I did this sponsor last week, same sponsor, fine sponsor, and I got to make a correction on it, and that's my fault. It ain't the place's fault. It's my personal fault. I didn't understand completely, and he listened to this, and I said something that wasn't true, so I need to make a correction on that. Everybody knows Flex Rankins.
Healthiest man in Murfreesboro.
Healthiest man in Murfreesboro used to be called that. Don't say it. He still is, but people don't call him. They usually got another name, but that's just because of just chain of events. But anyway, regardless of that,
what other name do they call him? I can't remember the nickname. I just remember that Flex Rankin, healthiest man in Murfreesboro. And then he got real sick at that Healthy Murfreesboro event, and he had to go to the bathroom, and the press was around him, and Inky drew that picture of him. That was a famous incident. Here's the most healthiest man in Murfreesboro, and then he gets sick, and that was funny to a lot of people.
That's what you call irony.
So he's in the bathroom, really public. And then he tries to make a joke about
and the bathroom was right there on the side. It wasn't far. It was a.
He come out of the bath. They introduced him, and they're like, now here is the healthiest man in Murfreesboro, Flex Rankin. And and the podium was right next to the bathroom, so he opened up the bathroom, kind of a dramatic entrance. People were like, oh, he was in the bathroom the whole time. People have been going to the bathroom. They didn't know who was in that stall. The funny thing, he wasn't using that stall. He was just hiding out in there so that people would be like, oh, he was in there the whole time. They were wondering, where's Flex Rankin? The whole time, him hiding in that stall. And then he comes out, and he's like, well, folks, I'd like to, and his stomach got to hurting him real bad right then. He went right back in the bathroom. Right back in there, yeah. And I guess some people say, well, that's what you get for trying to pull a dirty trick like that.
It ain't a dirty trick. He's just trying to be dramatic or something like that. I don't know.
Mr. Second Stall. That's the nickname.
Yep. Old Second Stall right there.
Because he's been in there.
Well, everybody used to say, are you in there waiting or are you in there being sick? You know, things like that. People ask him, are you waiting or are you...
You waiting or you sick?
Are you going sick? Yeah.
He's like, I'm super healthy, but you never live that now.
Well, I mean, he got a sense of humor about it, thank goodness, a little bit. You know, he's not, he's got a, well, now.
You hear that siren?
I hear that siren right there, yeah. There you go.
You know how some people can tell the difference between sirens? Like, that's an ambulance, and that's a fire department.
It's always police over here.
I wish they'd have a special siren so we'd know where they were going. Like if they were going to Longhorns or Little Longhorns.
Yeah, because if something else is happening,
we need to know.
I need to know.
What if there's a tornado or something?
Something like that, yeah.
Like if it's just a Longhorns run, just so nobody gets excited, they could just go like whoop whoop whoop. You know how they do that?
Yeah.
Whoop whoop whoop. And we know. Oh, well, they're just going Longhorns.
Yeah.
Now we don't know. Somebody we know and love could be hurt real bad.
Well, I hope not.
I hope not, too. I'm
Get
just saying.
hurt and like that. I hope nobody's hurt over Longhorns.
Yeah,
you know.
I hope so. Especially them kids.
You know, nobody wants a kid hurt.
No.
Nobody wants that.
No, not unless there's something wrong with them too.
Yeah, something wrong with the person that wants to hurt a child. Yeah,
Definitely.
something's wrong with that. Yeah.
Now this is okay. If you listen to this, you're like, this is the greatest episode of the podcast. This is, you might warn people, it gets a little dark about 20 minutes in when they start talking about people hurting kids. But if you hang in there, you see why
Well,
we
that's
call
like
episode 146
That's
the
like on
greatest
the farm,
episode.
you know, there's cold, hard truth is what there's terrible things in this world, you know.
It's better you hear it from us on this podcast.
I'm sure people out there know plenty of things about heartache and pain. Everybody does. And maybe not some people think they're better than everybody else, you know, sitting on a high horse. There's some people like that.
They'll learn their lesson.
Well, eventually, everybody has to go through something. That's just part of what living in this world is. Terrible.
It is awful. It's a burden, really.
Yeah. Well, old Flex Rankins, he, second stall, as they call him, he got into making this. It's a great product. To mention it is pill sauce for senior, baby, and dog. Three of the worst things to get something down in their throats right there.
Pill sauce.
Yeah, it's hard. You know, some pills too big for a little baby. Too scratchy for old man's throat, and a dog, you know, will bite you. Dog, you know, don't want you trying to put nothing, you know.
So, like, some pills are too big for a baby.
Yeah.
Some pills are too scratchy for an old man.
Well, or too big, whatever, different things, you know.
And dog will bite you if you get near it with
Some
the pill.
will, yeah. Dog, if you're trying to put something in its mouth and they don't know what it is, yeah.
These are the concerns Flex Rankin had when he invented
Well,
pill
it's not
sauce.
just his. I think if you somebody that deals with, you know, unfortunately, again, cold hard truth, as they say, there's a lot of sick old people. There's some sick babies, and dogs get sick too, you know. So you got to have a medicine. Thank goodness that's where the good part comes in. It's too bad you're sick, but there's something, you know, you have to take medicine. That's bad, but thank goodness there's medicine that makes you feel better. But darn it, that medicine sure is too big, go down my throat. Or I don't understand that I have to take medicine and I'm scared and I bite you. Or you just old, you know, and your throat's wore out. You know, it's just get to a point putting anything just. So what I got is pill sauce. And what this is, it's a sauce. Whatever medicine you got, you send it in, give it to Flex Rankins. He's going to give it right back to you, shoot it right back in sauce form, as you say.
That's it. Pill sauce.
Pill sauce. That's what pill sauce does. Now, also what he does, it ain't just sauce. Sauce just seems like the easiest thing. Sauce is easy to get down to anybody. Dog, baby, it's sauce.
But I guess the thing was, what do you put that sauce on?
Well, you just have the sauce by itself if you want, or we put it on something
Who
if you
eats
want to.
sauce by itself? There's not a what
Well,
is a
it's
sauce?
medicine. It ain't like you sit down just for sauce, but I mean, it's medicine.
There's
is
no
what-
sauce that gets eaten by itself. Cranberry sauce gets eaten with damn Thanksgiving dinner.
Spaghetti sauce goes on. I
On
understand.
spaghetti.
But this is something
Horsey
different.
sauce goes on your Arby's.
This is pill sauce. Pill sauce is what it is.
But the pill is in the sauce.
yeah,
I thought the sauce went on the pill. But
No.
turns out the pill is in the
it's
sauce.
in the sauce. That's how you take it.
So what do you put the sauce on?
The point is the sauce goes down your throat smooth, easy, relaxed. That's what sauce ain't nothing to go down your throat. That's the point I'm trying to say. That's the reason they come up with the name pill sauce. That's what it is.
So it ain't nothing to get some sauce down your throat.
No, sauce goes down your throat already. It's easy.
So I guess if you start putting your pill sauce on something like a damn steak or a damn A1 steak, like if you treat it like steak sauce and you put it on a damn steak.
If you want to, I don't see there's any
But you're
problem with that.
saying that now you got to get a piece of steak down
Well,
your throat.
here, let's just move on and give you another option, all right? You
I'd
want to
love
hear that?
another
All
option.
right, here's the option. I mentioned this. Same Flex Rankins, also in business, same thing, but different. If you have medications you have to take regularly, and it's just the same old, wake up every morning, take this, take that. I know how it is, blood pressure medicine, this stuff on my eye, all the different things you got to take. Now, switch it up for a few days. Take it down to the medicated table. Great business, great restaurant, Flex Rankins and his lovely wife. Take it down there. Take your medicine. 3 days later, go down there again for the best meal you ever had. And all the medicine's right there in it for you. So if you want it in a sauce there, he'll put it in the sauce. If you want it in the steak, he'll put it in the steak. You got a 3-day time wait. And whatever your medicine is, he's going to get it in the food that's of your choice, of your choosing.
It doesn't have to be a sauce. If I just order a plain steak.
Well, you can buy pill sauce at the store. That's the point. This is a restaurant.
So sometimes he'll get pill in steak.
Whatever it is, he
Even
can
a
get it
steak.
in there. He can get the medicine inside that. You can't taste it. It don't taste like
Is
medicine.
he just cutting a hole in that steak and putting the pill in there?
No, it ain't that, because that wouldn't take 3 days. That'd take 5 minutes.
Because I can go down to Taco Bell, and I can order me a bean burrito.
If you want to eat crap like that, I like Taco Bell every now and then, but this is a restaurant.
And
This
I
is
will
fine dining.
put
Is
my
what this
pill
is.
in that bean burrito, and I will eat that bean burrito, and that whole process probably takes under 2 minutes.
Well, pill also catch on your teeth if you don't know where you're biting. If it's a hard pill, don't break easy. Some of those pills, that's what they say. Swallow whole. Don't, some of them say that. Swallow it whole. You can't break into it or chew it. Then you're in trouble.
You're right. I
Yeah.
didn't think about that.
There you go. So, and this is fine
Because
dining.
when
If
you biting into them burritos, you don't know where your teeth go.
Now,
in.
he'll put it in a burrito, but I guarantee you this, it's going to taste a lot better than an old Taco Bell burrito, which is fine for what it is, but this is a restaurant. You go out, I'm sure it'd have nice chips and salsa. If you're going to do Mexican, he'd do it up right for you there at the medicated table. But there was, what I said this last week, and we talked about it a little bit on here, and I had it wrong, and I thought I had it right, and I didn't. I just didn't understand it. Now I do. I mentioned the ointment, with the thing I got put on my feet every so often, unless it gets, that stuff gets scaly or whatever it is down there. I have to put this stuff on it. Now, I said you could take that down there, put it in the food, and then you could eat that food. It's going to take care of your foot. And I was wrong.
You said you made a joke out of it, like my salve too, and he said, bring it down here. That's what you said last week.
That's what he said, and that's what I ended up doing. But I misunderstood what it is. The meal was still fine, but what it is, he'll put it in a food, and that's fine, same like every other medicine, but you can't eat it. You just have to rub the food on you, just like you would with a salve. So I was wrong.
Wait a minute.
Well, I was wrong about that, and I thought you'd eat it because it's a restaurant. But
right. But you're saying you still have to rub the food on your foot or whatever.
That's just how it works.
Can you do that right there at the table?
I didn't do it in there. I misunderstood what it said. I took mine home.
And you can't eat it before or after you rub it on you?
I don't want to eat something I rubbed on my foot. What are you talking about?
They should still be like. What are the portion sizes? There should be some left.
There's, ample portions. I'd say it's pretty good. It's a good meal. You're paying you're not just paying for the process of putting the medicine in the food. You're paying for the food too. It's
service
great,
is good.
Great A quality. Well, Flex Rankins is personable, nice fella.
He's your server?
He's there, yeah, he'll do it.
Will he rub it on your foot for you?
No, he ain't gonna rub it on my foot for me. I didn't understand that.
So would you take it to go and do it at home?
Well, after he explained it to me, I felt a little silly, but yeah, I took it on home.
Was anybody else having salve food cooked?
No.
You were the only one.
I didn't understand it. But either way, I'll say this much, it's a change of pace at least, It's the same old putting the salve on it now and put, mac and cheese on it.
Is that what you ordered, was the macaroni and cheese?
Macaroni and cheese, yeah.
Uh-huh. And you rub that on your foot?
Just till it's gone, yeah, I'm not going to do it again.
Well, can I ask about the process of this? So you go home with your little to-go tray of macaroni and cheese.
Well, yeah.
And you was it that truffle-dusted macaroni and cheese? I looked the menu up on damn Yelp.
He'll make whatever you want, but, he gives you choices, but,
he had a truffle-dusted macaroni and cheese. Is that what you got? Truffle-dusted macaroni and cheese?
I just macaroni and cheese. If it had the fancy name on it, I don't know. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. I don't remember.
You got it in a little to-go container, and you got to sit down in your chair,
just
maybe?
a little styrofoam cup, usually just put the salve on it, macaroni and cheese. Got to go in the bathroom, put it over the bathtub or something. I ain't going to get that all over the floor.
So you're rubbing that, and then the noodles are like...
Well, I paid for the medicine, didn't I?
So you're rubbing that macaroni and cheese on your foot, and it's caking up on there in between your toes and stuff, and maybe like some of the noodles are kind of caked in that cheese sauce hanging off your foot, and the noodles are falling off, or they fall into the bathtub. Is that
why do you care how I put food on my foot? What difference does it make? I didn't understand it, and now I do, and I won't make a mistake again. But I didn't want other people to have to go through what I'm going through. It ain't that bad. It's like putting anything else on your foot. It's just mac and cheese.
Did anybody else know you had to rub this macaroni and cheese on your foot? Was there any pictures?
Why am I going to advertise it? It's what it is. I was putting out information last week, unbeknownst to myself,
that
it wasn't correct.
Did he think you were an idiot, or did he think this was just business as usual? Was it?
I don't know. I guess it was his way of telling me I said the wrong thing on here.
So he knew it was a strange request, but he did it.
I learned not to do it again, I guess. But
how is your foot?
It's fine. Medicine works fine. The medicine's in the cheese, The
medicine's in the macaroni and cheese.
Yeah. So,
you didn't take...
Let me just say this. Get the point across before you run it down anymore. Listen.
Okay.
The point I'm trying to say, salves, and he said topicals, do not apply. Now, he'll do it. He did it for me. He'll do it. Like I said, it's change the pace instead of putting the same old... get the tube down, roll that, put it on there. Now, it's at least different. Mix it up, like I said, same old, take medicine all the time. So if you want to do that for whatever reason, he'll do it. But you can't eat that, and your foot is not, if I just ate it, which I guess I could have, the foot, it'd break out and be scared. I can't eat it, and it goes to the problem on my foot. You have to rub it on there.
But you can eat. I was going to ask out of curiosity, did you not take a bite?
I guess you could eat it, but I don't want to eat foot salve. I don't know about you. No matter how good it tastes, it's still foot salve.
Did it smell good? It must have smelled good.
It smells like macaroni and cheese. It looks like regular macaroni and cheese.
And you didn't just take a little bite as you were rubbing it on your foot?
In my head, as good as it tastes, you're still thinking I'm eating this stuff I rub on my, I squirt out the tube every morning, rub on my.
But last week you were in a hurry to get down there and eat it.
Well, I thought that's what it was, and I messed up. I'm coming on here and telling people the right way it works. I was wrong. I just misunderstood it. I'm correcting myself, and so be it. That's the end of the story. Topicals and salves do not apply. He'll do it.
Well, I'm glad your foot's okay.
Well, me too. And then
So that is the medicated table.
Yeah.
Pill Sauce and Co.
Old Flex Rankin, second stall.
Old Flex and June Rankin, second stall, and his lovely wife June, who I guess made that macaroni and cheese for your foot. Healthiest man in Murfreesboro. I got a sponsor this week, Jackie.
Yeah.
Funny. I'm doing the same sponsor I had last week, too. They are back, and they've made some changes.
Yeah.
Folks, we've been talking on here the last few weeks about, our friends. If you're a boat lover, I'm sure you know.
Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about, yeah.
I'm sure you know our good friends over doing tours around the square. Our good friends, Murky Shellbacks and his wife, Trudy Patricia.
Mm-hmm.
Trudy Patricia wears the bikini, looks good for her age. I went to school with her. That ain't her kid. That is her sister's baby, who sits up in the cab of the truck with Murky Shellbacks as he pulls his new boat. It's like he's got a new boat every week.
The baby's crying, too, I guarantee you.
Baby
now.
is wailing its head off. Is it a
never
boy
seen
or a
that.
girl? I'm not sure.
I never seen it sleep. Usually a baby would cry, wear itself out, and finally go to sleep.
Never sleeps.
I ain't never seen it. I ain't around the baby 24 hours, but when it's around, I never seen that baby when it wasn't crying.
Well, let me tell you who's unhappy in this situation. It's only the baby, because Murky Shellbacks always has a new boat. That makes him happy. Now, you may not know it when he's giving his tour. He sounds angry, but he's happy to show off that boat. He don't want you touching anything on it. If you own that boat, you're not supposed to touch anything. But he loves having a new boat, and he loves showing it off. His wife, Trudy Patricia, she's happy because she gets to point at things, which she's loved to do. We recognized that back in school when I went to school with her. She looks good for her age. That is not her baby. That is her sister's baby. Her sister is on something. I think they're helping out with that baby. It sits up in the cab of the truck and cries. Trudy Patricia points at all the things on the boat that Murky Shellbacks is telling you about over the loudspeaker, and also giving you some history of the square, because now they're doing these tours around the square. Last week we told you they had hooked up with Dilly Mule Rider.
Yeah.
They were also pulling, I believe, her carriage. Well, now they're still pulling the carriage, but the carriage is just just carries the feed. So because now Murky went and he ordered himself a double-decker bus.
What?
Because they needed more room because they're expanding.
Expanding?
So he doesn't have a truck that pulls his boat around. Now they got this double-decker bus like you would see, Jackie. Have you ever heard of the country called England?
I know what a double-decker bus is.
Right, like Great Muppet Caper. That's what they have now.
Yeah.
It might be a double-decker bus from the Great Muppet Caper.
It is not.
I asked him if it was, and he said, I don't know, it might be. I mean, we don't know for sure. He didn't
know that.
Well, you got Carfax, and you get the history of the car. Like he said, he hadn't done that yet, but he's going to.
Yeah.
I don't know how many double-decker buses there are. There might just be 3. If you've seen a double-decker bus in a movie, this might be, I mean, that has to be expensive to make a double-decker bus.
They got some over here that for tours and stuff like that.
Yeah, but how many? Seriously, 20? I mean, it can't be that many Who would make a bunch of double-decker buses?
England's got a bunch. That's how they get around over there.
Have you ever been to England?
No, I ain't never been to England.
Man,
but just seen
I don't
pictures.
know. Yeah,
But you see them. There's pictures of
they could
them
be the
driving
same
around.
one in every picture. I don't know.
No, it ain't the same one.
How
The
big is the
buses-
Great Wall of
you
China?
ain't gonna have. I don't know, but it's big enough to see it in outer space to say. But I don't necessarily
That's
believe
bullshit.
that. Well,
That's
what I
bullshit.
agree with you on that.
That's
yeah.
bullshit. And then the fact they might just have 2 double-decker buses. Point is, he's going to find out. We don't know. I don't know anything about double-decker buses.
City of England, the whole city of England is going to be. There's no point of having public transit if I ain't but one double-decker bus that goes back and forth across the city.
I'm saying it may just be a legend that they have all these double-decker
It
buses.
ain't no legend. It's the people. That's how they do it over there.
They
got to have more than one. Now, granted, when you see them, a picture or in a movie or TV, they're usually full. People all on it. Unless
Right.
James Bond's driving it and he's going to ride it under a bus and make the top part fall off.
See, that's probably. I asked Murky if his double-decker bus top would fall off, like if he had it rigged up, like a trick, like top part falls off. He said no. He tried to take it off. He said it's built solid. He said they must be in a Hollywood. They probably built that.
Well, yeah, it's Hollywood.
For the movie.
I know we did that. I know better than that. James Bond driving under a bridge. Tear the whole top off, then it falls on top of the car chasing him.
Which movie is that one?
Let me think. It's old Roger Moore. It's one of his.
That sounds about right.
Roger
Is he
Moore,
in the Great
James
Muppet
Bond.
Caper? I ain't seen that in a while.
I don't know which caper.
No,
Muppets.
he's in Cannonball Run. He probably couldn't have done them both at the same time.
Well, hell, just being James Bond busy enough.
Yep.
Hard to do anything else when you're doing that.
So Murky went and got a double-decker bus. We don't know if it's the actual double-decker bus you see in all the photos. He's going to find out. So he is sitting up in the front with that baby crying. First level, the ground level, that is Dilly Mule Rider. She's got all the horses and mules, miniature Shetland ponies, miniature horses.
That's right. I need to go see
whatever
those.
She's got.
Adorable.
It's pretty much a petting zoo.
Oh, like a pet, you go on the bottom and the seat's pulled out. It's just animals in there.
Just animals. They still got the thing where you can hold on like a strap, but no seats. You can't sit down. So.
Well, animals don't sit down like people do.
Animal don't. That's what he said. Animal don't need seats.
Yeah.
Like, what happened to all the seats? He said, animal don't need seats.
They don't.
Idiot. He's getting angrier.
I won't go down. Now, see, number one, I wouldn't want to do any of this anyway. I don't care about boats. It ain't my thing. Happy for you if you got a new boat. To me, though, if you get a boat, you should probably at some point take it out on the lake as opposed to running around a square all day. But
I asked him about that. He said he doesn't like to get them wet.
Well, each his own. Yes, fine. But now, first off, wouldn't go down there because the traffic is holding up. They're having to open up new routes because if you have to, I feel sorry for anybody has to work down on Square, which there's a lot of people that do though. A lot of people in town have to
somehow get to.
And
there used to be a lot of traffic on the Square, but not so much since they started doing these tours. Because before it was them and Dilly Mule Rider, and it was just hard to get around them. And then they're kind of combining forces, but now there's a double-decker bus, and it's pulling a boat, which is pulling a carriage.
Yeah, that don't.
It's just hard. I mean, it's almost to the point, if they add another link to this chain, it's pretty much just going to be connecting to itself. So there's not going to be room for any other traffic on the Square. But people seem to enjoy the spectacle of it. I mean, some of them old men sit out there in front of the cafe or wherever and just, like, look for people trying to get around it and laugh. And
it's a mess down there, yeah.
Them, like, having to stop and clean out the petting zoo portion of the double-decker bus.
You got to sweep that out, yeah. That's going to get...
And then getting the feed out of the carriage, which is mostly just feed and waste. The back part of the carriage is waste because they were just dumping it out. And the cops said, you can't just dump a bunch of mule shit on the Murfreesboro Square.
Yeah.
It'll make us look like a bunch of damn idiots. So they got little baggies, and they put that in the back, and they empty the animal waste out of Dilly Mule Rider's carriage at the end of every shift. And then they feed them. So it's like food and waste, coming and going. They got it going both ways.
That's animals, yeah.
That's animal. That's life on the farm.
I know. I lived it.
Now, I don't know if they want you coming around.
What do you mean, I won't come see the animals?
Stick your arm up in
All
there.
right, enough of that talk. If she's got some of them little Shetland baby horses, those are adorable. They're funny.
We couldn't keep up with which of hers was dead and which was living. It's because she was buying a bunch of them for this petting zoo tour.
I'd like to see some of them. They think they're regular horses. They think they regular size horse. They don't know the difference. They're adorable, though. Just cute as could be.
So that's the first level of the double-decker bus. Behind the bus is pulled the boat with Trudy Patricia on the boat in her bikini, looking good for her age.
All right,
for her age.
I
but
know.
Looking good. And she's pointing to things. The sad thing is, now since he bought this double-decker bus, Murky's up there. He's talking on his tour over the loudspeaker tour patter a lot more about the double-decker bus and talking about movies and photographs of England. You might have seen that double-decker bus in if it's the actual English double-decker bus. We don't know for sure. And so she's kind of standing back there in her bikini on the boat, but not really. She doesn't really get to point at stuff unless he remembers, like, oh, and that boat I got. Because it's been a couple of weeks since he got a boat now because he had put all his money in that double-decker bus.
I'm about to say, yeah.
And then behind that is the carriage with the food and the waste. And then up top, it sounds like a mistake to me, but on the upper level of the double-decker bus, I guess they're back together. Because Wesley Press is up there doing his lessons around the square. And they got all the windows open so that he's smoking up there, teaching you kids, whatever, giving them history lessons, tutoring them, smoking like a freight train. Smoke blowing out the window, so the smoke's not affecting the children that much, or the animals, or the crying baby, or Trudy Patricia. She says she gets a lot of it. Somehow it just blows back down on her. So she says at the end of every shift she smells like goat shit, and
all right.
She's got a couple goats in there, and cigarette smoke. So I guess Wesley Press and Dilly Mulerider back together. That's gross. She's like 30 years older than him.
All right, leave it alone. If they won't be together, they can be together. Now, he has children giving them lessons up there.
Uh-huh. Well, see, it's like a whole immersive experience because you learn about animals.
Now, I like all these people except for Murky.
Uh-huh.
And, well, I don't know that baby. Baby all does cry.
Baby could go either way.
I'm not saying I don't like a baby. I'm just saying.
The thing with babies is they could go either way.
Jody Patricia, nice lady, helped her out one time. Surprised that she needed it, but so be it. I'm always,
Well, now that they got these tours going, you don't have to give her no handouts
anymore. Well, that's good. I'm glad she's making a living for herself.
She was in her bikini when she come down asking for some food?
I told you I had a robe on, something like that. I don't remember. I just know
she's always in that.
Listen. Now, I like old Wesley Press, smartest whip, smartest fella in Murfreesboro, I'd say, and I like Dilly Mulerider just fine. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know who this would fall upon, if all of them or one of them, but what is the kind of insurance they got for that old deal? I mean.
Well, you got to have auto insurance, first of all.
Well, but
Murky told me that for a double-decker bus, and he said he went down to Murfreesboro Insurance Company and was like, let me tell you what I need. And he said they almost threw, get out of here, Murky, with that. And he said, no, I need, first of all, that was just a double-decker bus. He said, I'm going to get me a double-decker bus. And they're like, I don't even know this ain't England. He said, I know it.
People are dropping their children off to get lessons. Now, you bringing other people's children in.
Yeah, there's children.
Well, there's a baby already crying.
There's a baby up there.
Animals don't necessarily need it. I ain't worried about the animals.
No, but an animal can attack a child at any point.
Nah, a little pony like that, it'd be adorable if it did.
Well, the kid could hurt the pony.
Well, that's true.
So you gotta insure the kids and the pony.
There's some mean children out there hurt an animal like that. That's pitiful, but they are. You're right.
And then, so you've got a double-decker bus pulling a boat, pulling a cart full of food and waste. The double-decker bus is full of children and animals and a screaming baby. And you know what really jacked the insurance up? The smoking.
Well, yeah, nowadays, yeah.
He said, you going to let him smoke indoors? He said, well, we got the windows down. He said, well, we'll knock like $10 off for that, but still. So he said, Murky said he may not get a boat for like another month. He said this insurance is eating him alive.
Here's what you need to do, and I ain't necessarily trying to help Murky Shellback out. That's the last person I care about whether he makes it or not. But what you do is like them touring buses when you go on to a famous this or that, like out in Hollywood tours. There ain't no top on it. There's no top on the top level. There's open, and the person up there on the microphone pointing at this or that right there. Now, if he got that hole, if it's enclosed, the the upper level, take a top off of it, and it's open air.
Like drive it under a bridge and just.
Well, no. If you drive it under a bridge, you take the whole second level.
The whole second
off.
level, right? We just
I'm
want the
talking
top.
about just take the top off
Well, maybe
of the
find
second level.
a bridge. It's like the right. Just take a little
No,
off.
you're being silly. That's James Bond does that. Remove a top.
Mm-hmm.
Your smoking situations.
Well, what Murky said, because, you know, we're going around. He's telling me how much that insurance went up because of cigarette smoke. And I said, well, why don't is there a way you can take the whole top off? Because I didn't know. You know, you seem like you know a lot more about double-decker buses than I do. I wish you'd been there, actually, because you could have asked some really pertinent questions.
Yeah, you wouldn't been able to get any questions in edgewise over him talk about whatever boat or whatever it is
or
he
double-decker
buys.
bus.
Yeah,
That's
well, either way.
He said what he's worried about if you take the top off the double-decker bus is one of them animals shooting up the stairs and going over the side. Now, they're going 10 miles an hour on the square, but he said...
You can't go no faster than that on square to get around that thing. You can't...
He's worried that one of them... It's another insurance issue. One of them animals gets off, a little miniature horse gets off and gets hurt.
Well, yeah, I don't want to see that, yeah.
One of them people sitting around the square hurts that horse. Either way...
Gets loose.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense, yeah.
So... people, if you've done it, if you've taken that ride, people seem to love it.
Yeah.
If you're trying to get somewhere on the square, people seem to hate it.
Yeah.
But the children, and you know, I'm no fan of Wesley Press, but the children he's been tutoring up there, they seem to really be learning a lot.
He's smart as a whip. He's your child grades go up, do better. Get with him, either get directly with him or order one of his school plans or whatever, because he's, you know, they thought years ago, he was the Unabomber, not because of anything bad he did, just because, you know, everybody knew Unabomber smart, put that stuff in a letter, and he got questioned by FBI. Didn't find nothing on him, of course, but that's just showing
how smart he is.
How smart he is. Smart as a whip. Smartest person in Murfreesboro, I'd say.
Yeah, oh yeah, real smart. Even back in school, I went to school with Wesley Press, too. Yeah. I went to school with a lot of people we talked about lately.
You ain't never left Murfreesboro city limits, have you?
I've been to Talladega and a few other places.
Always come back.
But I remember one time Wesley Press, he was real smart in school. And we were all like, Wesley Press is real smart. And there was this one time that in shop class we were building picture frames. And so we built this giant picture frame. And we're like, hey, Wesley Press, what should we put in this picture frame? He said, I don't know. Leave me alone or whatever. Like, please, please. And football team were like, hey, Wesley Press, why don't we put you in this picture frame? You're so smart.
All right.
And I started laughing. They said, how about Fat Ass over there, too? And I said, no, let me help you get him. And then I tackled him down the ground. And he wasn't much for fighting, but he really hurt me. I remember that.
Well.
I mean, he was pretty strong.
You deserve to get hurt. You deserve to get hurt if you're knocking people down.
But I kind of threw myself at him. And he pushed me off, but that distracted him long enough for the football boys to get him. And then what they did was they took that picture frame and they took all his clothes off and they tied him.
Oh, that's...
it was like a human-sized picture frame. They tied his arms to each side of it and his legs.
All right, I don't want to hear this. Pitiful.
And then they set him up outside the ladies' bathroom.
This world just...
Funny.
That's not funny at all. There's nothing funny about that. That's pitiful. People are so mean in this world.
So he's up there tutoring you kids. Animals down below with his 60-ish-year-old girlfriend, Dilly Mule Rider, driven around by Murky Shellbacks who loves boats and his new double-decker bus. Crying baby, Judy Patricia in her bikini, pointing to things, except he's not really giving her much to work with, so she's just kind of riding on that boat. Behind the boat is the waist and the feed.
Why do you got to keep saying where the waist is?
Dilly
Nobody
Mule
cares where it is.
Carriage. That's just supplies in. I'll say that's the supplies.
All right. Don't
and the
say,
waist.
Well, who cares where the waist goes? Nobody.
It's the waist and the supplies. And if you need to go to the bathroom, what you have to do is climb out the bus, shimmy over the boat, and they got a porta potty in the carriage. Just like waste, feed, waste. Human and animal. And that is, they just call it round the square.
Yeah.
Because you could go like, that's like lessons around the square, Dilly Mule Rider, like
It's
animals,
all of it
petting zoo
combined,
around
yeah.
the square, and boat around the square, and they're giving you the history of the square. But it's just round the square.
All of it, yeah.
Round the square. And medicated table. That's our sponsors for today. We're at 55 minutes. Greatest podcast we have recorded. I see now why people are saying that, because it really is. It's really hung together pretty good. We're an hour in, 55 minutes in. We have not talked about the news or played the theme song. Hey, we should play the theme song.
Hey, look at there. You see him? Well, open your damn eyes in. It's the old-timey country down-home red state update podcast and them. Coming to you from a bunker underneath Jackie's Market in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And here they are, both of them.
Hey, welcome to Red State Update. This is Jackie Brawls.
Folks, people, this is Dunlap of Murfreesboro, Tennessee. I am Jackie Brawls' best friend.
Yeah.
I guide him through these podcasts and help make them as good as they are. And speaking of good, the greatest episode we've ever done rolls on.
This is
Number one.
I'll say this is as good as they're all the same to me.
Ranked number one.
I don't
You
ever.
are assuming.
You said you was listening to an old one of these.
Mm-hmm.
What you said is your birthday or something like that on here. I ain't ever listened to one of these.
You don't. I listen to them constantly. All I do is listen to these.
I don't.
I like the sound of my own voice. Is that weird?
I think it's a little weird. You weird, yeah, but why would you listen to it? Just for the sound of it?
It's calming. I like to know that I'm out there, leaving messages for future generations. It's funny when I make fun of you
Oh,
and call you names
that's funny to you.
and slap you in the face.
You ain't never slapped me if you ever try that.
It turns me on a little bit.
Tell you what, right now, you won't think it's funny.
Sexually arouses me, the sound of my own voice.
Enough.
If I'm getting with a lady and they're like, Dunlap, I want you to do something special tonight. I want you to give it to me extra good. And I say, well,
See,
what
then
I
you-
need to
the
do.
best thing special for her, you get in the car and drive away, is what she means.
If that was true, usually they pick me up.
Yeah. That's true, yeah.
Gas money. So I say, baby, what I'm going to have to do is put on my own podcast, and we're going to have to listen to that. And I'm going to make love to you while I listen to the sound
All
of my
right.
own voice.
I don't, enough. That's bad. I don't ever
And sometimes they're like, I don't know, a podcast? What is it? What? And I said, let me put some of this on. I'm going to put this on, baby. And you hold on a second. Get ready, whatever you got to do, whatever position you got to get in to get ready. Get yourself ready, baby, because I'm going to put this podcast on. You got a cord? I can hook this up to you. There you go. Thank you, baby. And I'm going to get on iTunes Podcast or Podbay, or I'm going to get on Stitcher.
I know churches and Facebooks and
Yeah.
Twitters.
But I say it's
and
sexy.
keep saying filthy. No woman in her right mind.
And then she starts hearing this, what we're doing right now. She goes, oh, I get it. And then she goes,
No.
oh, I get it. And I said, baby, you about to get it. Extra special, extra good. Because I'm hearing myself, and that's like encouraging me. My sexy voice is encouraging me to be extra sexy up in
All right,
you.
enough. I'm tired of it, and whoever's listening to this is. And if you're a woman and this is going on right now, there's something wrong with you. This part. Listen real close to this part. Something is wrong with you.
Yeah, they just had an orgasm, if you consider that wrong.
Oh, just
I don't tell women what to do with their bodies.
enough of
Unless we consented to it explicitly,
enough
and
of
then if they want me to, I will.
filth. I'm not going to sit there and listen to that.
But I don't walk into it going, get up, get your ass up, and then get your ass up. High.
Enough.
But if they're like, I consent to you bossing me around in the sack, and I say, okay, well, first off, let me put my podcast on.
Say anything.
What we need to do, I've been meaning to talk to you about this. I need an episode of this podcast that is just me giving myself in IRL sex instructions and sex like compliments, like saying you're really doing good sex, Dunlap.
Enough.
And I say, thank you, Dunlap. And then she said, who are you talking to, baby? I said, nobody, baby. Let's just go back to making
That's it.
really good fucking.
Well, hey, all right. You want to sit there by yourself? Do this. You can do it now. Right now is your chance. I'll get up and walk out of here. I'm not going to listen to language. I'm not going to listen to filth. Not going to do it.
So that's how I make love, everybody. Sex.
What'd I say?
Boy, Jackie, I tell you what, as much as you probably hate being yourself, can you imagine what it was like being Ted Cruz or Ellen Page today? Because both of them were at the Iowa State Fair.
I know who Ted Cruz is. Who? Who's the other one?
Ellen Page, according to news site I have up on my phone right now, Mediaite, actress Ellen Page battles Ted Cruz, who looks really presidential in his red pork apron and his blue dress shirt and his weird everything else. And he's sitting there making pork chops, as presidential candidates are forced to do. That was back when the Iowa State Fair is what used to be insulting to people running for president. That was pre-Trump.
Yeah.
Back then, it's like, I can't believe we make people run for president eat corn dogs and make pork chops and go to Iowa State Fair and talk to those yokels. Now, Donald Trump, now that looks like the most dignified thing a presidential candidate can do is stick his hand in some raw pork.
They give helicopter rides.
He did go to the fair and give helicopter rides to children.
That's what I say. You ain't going to see him.
Ted Cruz giving a child a helicopter ride?
Nope.
Ted Cruz seems like the sort of person who would push a child out of a helicopter and laugh about it.
I don't know if he's that bad.
I'm going to push you out of this helicopter.
Being mean's his thing, though. That's what he does. That's how he got where he is.
I'm Ted Cruz. He gives filibusters. He talks like that for 12 hours. I'm prepared to talk for 12 hours here in Congress. It's awful. I think I'm doing Pat from Saturday Night Live, but that's appropriate. It works.
Yeah.
So actress Ellen Page.
Actress. What's her movie? TV show? I don't know.
X-Men.
X-Men.
Juno. Other good ones, I'm sure. Ellen Page, openly gay actress Ellen Page, began the conversation by asking Senator Ted Cruz how people are getting fired for just being gay or trans. And in response, he said, well, what about the story of Dick and Betty Oddgard, who faced fines if they continued to refuse to allow same-sex marriages to celebrate at their venue, as an example of how Bible-believing Christians are being persecuted. So then they argued about who was being persecuted. Cruz said, what about Muslims? What about ISIS and Iran? And Ellen Page says, who's great in X-Men movies. The last one didn't have that much to do, just kind of be sick, but still good. Ellen Page, who's openly lesbian, conceded that such treatment of gay people is horrible and added that Christians use violence against gay people in places like Jamaica, where I'm sure everybody listening to this conversation wished they were instead of the Iowa State Fair. So Ellen Page taking it to Trump taking it back to Ellen Page. If you read the comments on Mediaite, which please, I know that's a common phrase that gets tossed around, don't read the comments, but if you're on Mediaite, please do not read the comments. People are going, oh, Trump told Ellen Page, Cruz told Ellen Page, and then some people are like, Ellen Page sure told Ted Cruz.
Well, this gay people don't like Ted Cruz, and he says it's not that he don't like gay people. He don't seem like he like anybody, but honestly, his attitude. But he don't want gay people to get married. Is what he don't want.
Right. Or he wants the votes of the people who don't want gay people.
Well, yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, I guess Iowa's got their fair share. Like a lot of places do. Some people don't. Well, it's not that they don't like gay people. They just don't want them to do things.
Right. Right. That's you hear that a lot. I like gay people.
But
I just don't want them
yeah.
to do these things. I have a list.
Don't like them to get mad. Don't want to see them kiss on the mouth. I'm not saying that's me. I don't like to see anybody kiss on the mouth, first off, so don't give me that.
Sex negative.
And as far as getting mad, I gave that up a long time ago. It ain't my business. If the Lord don't like it, He'll talk to them gay people. It ain't my job to go over there and tell them whatever.
That's basically everything, not just gay people. If God don't like it, He will talk to you eventually.
He'll get around to it, and I'm not saying he is or he isn't. I'm just saying.
That's everything, so you should mind your own business. If God don't like it,
well,
He
see,
will tell
some
you.
people like God so much that they think God's, they got to do what's right by Him, and then like that woman in Kentucky that ain't letting the gay, she won't give out just marriage license to anybody there.
What, and did she get fired?
No.
She's still working there?
Yeah. They looking into it, supposedly.
Which part of Kentucky is this?
Hell, I don't remember what part of Kentucky.
One of the worst parts, or?
There's a couple. There's a lesbian couple and a gay couple. Well, they're both gay, but you call a man couple
All
gay.
right, just move on.
Well, I'm just trying to get it right. It's all. I'm an old man trying to learn. Good Lord.
They're going to say, okay, this was the greatest episode of the Red State Update podcast. You got to get past the part at the end where an old man tries to work out how he feels about gay marriage.
Ain't how I feel about it. It's what to say that don't make anybody mad. I don't know what it is. So when I try not to say something, you get mad at me there.
There's no point.
And then I do by mistake. And they get mad, so they're going to get mad either way.
Sometimes it ain't what you say, it's just the way you look.
You can't even see on this thing.
I can hear it in your voice.
Oh, enough. If it's a law of the land, whether you agree with it or not, and Supreme Court then is supposed to be over with, and the woman that works in the government, if she ain't doing what she should get another job is what it is. That's my opinion.
We are a nation of laws.
But if she don't want to work at that place, she don't want to give out marriage license. So you get a job where it's not an issue. Don't go be a baker. And I'm not saying that. Don't quit trust me, quit being the county clerk, whatever the hell it is. Don't get a job as a baker. And what else? What's the other one? It's just jobs to avoid if you don't like gay people.
Don't get a job tying cans on the back of cars and writing "just married" on it with shaving cream.
Well, I didn't know they paid for that, but all right.
Well, usually I think a best man has to do that. They tie a bunch of rubbers around all over it, like a bunch of used rubbers, and put those on the car. You ever seen that?
Why?
I don't think they typically
I thought you got the filth out of the way. Get back into it. No, you don't be a preacher as the other one, right?
Oh, right. Don't be a preacher.
Don't be a church preacher. Don't be.
What if the Lord...
Actually, if you didn't do that to start with, you wouldn't have to worry about the other two, but that ain't the way it is. Don't be a preacher. Don't be a baker. And
what if the Lord calls you to be a preacher? Or calls you to be a baker?
I'm saying you're going to end up in a situation, if you're in any of those, you're going to end up in a situation if you don't like somebody for no reason to begin with. But if you really don't like somebody, and these are the jobs you shouldn't get, because it's going to wind up trouble. I ain't got a opinion about it one way or the other. Now, I ain't saying what you should or shouldn't do.
So we don't know who won this battle between Ellen Page and Ted Cruz. If you're going by media,
I don't know
comments.
who Ellen Page is. She's
Well,
an actress.
She's
to
an
talk
actor.
To,
Is there other actors you think could do a better job arguing with Ted Cruz?
well, I'd at least like to see one that I know argue with him. Who's good at arguing? Who's an actor? Who's that fella? I like him in the. What's his name? What? He blows up stuff with Rocky. They blowed up all the stuff.
What, in a movie?
Yeah, but that's what they do in that. Every Stallone, Rocky movie, every one of those stuff blows up, I understand. But then this one, that's what they did. They made the bombs and blew things up.
Tango and Cash?
No. What?
Oscar?
Woods.
James Woods?
That's it. Yeah, long face, long crazy eyed and long face. He gets mad and
Don't say he'll sue you for libel. He's suing Twitter people.
What?
For something they said about him.
You
I
sue?
don't know what.
He's suing the computer Twitters?
He's suing people on Twitter.
That's on the computer, though. That's a computer thing.
It is.
Well, you can't sue a computer, otherwise I'd be rich right now in lawsuits. If I could sue the computer every time I thought the computer did something. What's he suing it for?
I think that's
it's
a Kurt Russell Disney movie. You can't sue the computer.
Old Disney thing, yeah. That's a smart 100-year-old computer or something. What is the name of that
A
one?
100-year-old computer.
Kurt Russell's a little boy. He had to take care of the old computer, yeah. One of those. He was strong, too, in one of those. I ain't talking about Kurt Russell. That's Tango and Cash.
James Woods.
That's Tango and Cash.
Yes, that is Tango. Is he
That's
Tango
Kurt Russell.
or is he Cash?
Now, that I wouldn't be able to tell you.
James Woods sues Twitter user for $10 million over cocaine.
Well, see, now there's somebody, but that's proving my point. Right there, right out the gate, what you said, I didn't even know this about him. That's the kind of man you want to see argue with somebody. If you getting a lawyer for a computer thing you're mad at, then you somebody that's going to get mad and argue. That's all I'm saying.
I don't think James Woods would argue in favor of gay marriage. I don't know.
I
Maybe
didn't
he
say,
would.
You didn't tell me it had to be about gay things. I thought just argue.
Okay, well, just argue. Him, Rosie O'Donnell would be a good arguer. She's back in the news.
What's she in the news for?
You know, just Trump being mad at her, then her daughter.
They
ran
always
away.
mad at one another. That's always been. That's not why is that new now.
That's Alpha and Omega. It's like just like the devil and the Lord are locked in eternal battle, so shall Donald Trump and Rosie O'Donnell.
Similar, yeah. It's all. I mean, you can talk about it, but I don't. Why is it news now when it's never changed? I know he's in the news everywhere.
Charles Grodin, funny, being mad at people.
Charles Grodin.
When he come on Johnny Carson or David Letterman, be mad at them. Charles Grodin. Grodin.
What's he in?
Charles Grodin.
Which one is he in?
Beethoven.
Beethoven.
Dog.
Oh yeah. He's the daddy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. He's always. Hey, you're right. He's always mad. He's mad at that dog. He said everything which way at that dog. But yeah, he's always irritated. He'd be good. Okay, what's Grodin? Him argue Ted Cruz. Yeah.
Ted Cruz also in Charles Grodin's parts might work. I don't know what Ted Cruz is like as an actor, but Ted Cruz, I can't believe Beethoven.
Well, yeah,
that would work.
His face always looks like that, like Beethoven. Like whatever's coming out of his mouth, it looks like a dog toy, work papers, everything all over the room. Opens the door, and that's the expression usually Ted Cruz is giving.
Yep, Ted Cruz's face
You're
looks
right.
like Beethoven just took a big shit on a expensive rug.
Well, he tore things up
Or
too.
tore
It's not
things up. It's
he
like
just
there's
go to the bathroom.
feathers.
That's a natural thing. Sometimes that happen. If you left a dog in there too long, it ain't got no choice. I don't like
Big
people.
dog.
Yeah, it's a big dog. Yeah, but I mean, if dog's been locked up inside and you want there to take it out, that's your responsibility too. The poop
Ted
is on
Cruz.
you. Well, that's what I'm saying. Now in Beethoven, I'm sure he did that. I can't remember. He went to the bathroom somewhere in there, but he tore stuff up. He just make a mess in the kitchen or the bedroom or whatever. Everything got mud, water, everything all over the place. Yeah.
Ted Cruz walk in like, oh, Beethoven, I'm prepared to speak for 12 hours until Beethoven renounces whatever.
That'd be good. I'd like it. I mean, for a little bit. I did not long.
Midnight Run, him being on the run from the mob and annoying Robert De Niro, that'd be good too. Robert De Niro, shut up. Him like, oh, Midnight Run, everybody, classic.
Yeah.
Joe Biden may run for president.
He ain't gonna run for president. I don't think he is.
You don't think so? Everybody's excited. Is Biden gonna get in the race? People are bored by Hillary Clinton already. Folks, get over it because we're gonna have about 9 more years of that.
Let's say he does. And
not my fault. I'm not pulling for it. I'm just telling you.
Listen, the other day, I heard Al Gore, somebody that's saying
Al
that
Gore
like
may
he's going.
run for
Now
president.
listen to this.
Okay.
It takes Let's look at the Republican side right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's how many of them? There's 18, 19 of them, right?
Right.
That's how many it takes to make us look like idiots. 19 of them. Now, let's say all 3 of them are running. Right?
Okay. Oh, idiots that we already look like idiots with just 3.
All they
Democrats-
need is 3. It takes up to 18 to make us look silly. Just 3 on you. That's so 3 on you, all liberal Democrats. 3 on you. Let them run.
Donald Trump is going to defend Christmas. He come out and said he will not. People will have to say Christmas when he's around.
He's going to write a book. Whether he wins or not, he'll watch.
The Trump Christmas, I'll read that book.
I'd like to read it. I'm sorry. Now, people, the racist stuff, people have different opinions on this. And the
What
babies.
are the different opinions they have on it?
Well, they either say that things aren't as it's basically here. I break it down.
Okay.
Everything he says about Mexico and illegal immigrants is true. That side.
Mm-hmm. Some people say that.
Yeah, and then other people who like. I thought there was other stuff going on that was a lot worse. Whatever it is. I ain't saying one's better than the other, worse than the, I'm just saying. There's those people and then the other people. And then, there's some people just racist, don't like it.
Just
Yeah,
say that out loud,
anybody kind. Well, there is. It's a sad world. Like I said, people hurt children and there's racist in the world.
Animals.
Worst in the world, yeah. Terrible.
And that's it. That Jackie Brawls just broke down Trump.
Well, no, that's
Trump on Mexico.
Well, pretty much, because that's the thing that made
So let
him.
me just go back. There's people who like Mexico. There's people who don't.
There's some people indifferent towards it, one way or
And
the
there's
other.
people indifferent towards it.
And then there's some people who really don't like the Mexico and the Mexican people.
And those are the ones who are voting for Trump.
Well, that's why he's. Yes. One other reason I can't. Why else would you? Not that I would vote for him for that reason.
Because people like strength, Jackie. They like plain talk. Listen to this. This is what he said about Christmas. This is as plain a talk as you can get. As President Trump vowed, I will assault that.
Yeah.
I will go so strongly against so many of the things, when they take away the word Christmas. I don't know. They may have added that comma on Mediaite. This is Trump before. He says, there's an assault on anything having to do with Christianity. Donald Trump told Yellowhammer radio host Cliff Sims on Friday. None of this seems real. There's an assault on anything having to do with Christianity, Donald Trump said. They don't want to use the word Christmas anymore at department stores. You never see that. There's always lawsuits, and unfortunately, a lot of those lawsuits are won by the other side. As President Trump vowed, I will assault that. He will assault that, Jackie. He will go so strongly against so many of the things when they take away the word Christmas.
they'd have to take the. Here's the thing: they'd have to
plain
take.
talk.
They'd have to take the word Christmas away first before he'd do something, and they ain't gonna do that. No one's gonna take Christmas away now. That people are weird about holidays now. I'll give
What are
it
you
that.
saying? Are you going against what Sarah Palin says? There, what everybody's saying is we are on the precipice of a Christmasless nation.
That's not. I don't see it being true. Most people I know, like Christmas. That's what most people do. You give
Sure,
presents
but
to
you're
the
down
youngest.
here in your little
Well,
Methodist
that's
church
how.
bubble.
Now listen, there's fellas down run the cigarette store, and they have whatever that is, but they aren't coming over here and saying,
Well, they are always like Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas.
Well,
But that's
of course,
fear.
but they don't.
That's fear.
It ain't fair. They're just being polite.
Fear and politeness.
Well, but I don't see Christmas being threatened. It's like you said. Where is it threatened at? I don't know. It never was in New York or out in Hollywood or wherever. It never was in those places, was it?
Donald Trump, he's from New York, so he probably knows. He lives in that world.
Man,
where
that's
they
true.
Probably
He understands it like what it's
rip
like
the
up there.
banners down from Macy's and Miracle on 34th Street and all that stuff. When Santa Claus comes out at the end of the Macy's Day Parade, Thanksgiving Day Parade, I bet people are like throwing pipes at him and eggs.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised. Now if
That's what happens in New York at Christmas time.
If I lived in New York, which thank goodness I don't, and I don't plan on ever going there, but if I grew up singing that all the time, I'd be mad too. So I understand that part of Trump.
New York at Christmas time is a famously bleak and dispirited place that nobody wants to go to because everywhere you turn, people are ripping down trees.
Wait, what's the thing in the middle of? They got a big tree that turn on every year.
The Rockefeller Center. That's about like the running of the bulls. They put that up, and people storm out of their tenements and rip it down and stomp on it. It lasts about 5 minutes tops. They just throw it up there so people can destroy it.
Well, if I don't blame Trump. He and I don't agree on a lot of stuff, but if that's what I grew up seeing Christmas every year, I'd want to assault them things too.
But now your girlfriend Sarah Palin, she writes all these books about Christmas. You don't disagree with her?
I don't disagree with her. She's worried about Christmas. She loves Christmas, and she definitely, she knows what the true meaning of Christmas is. That's what those books are. To me, it's about knowing what the true meaning of Christmas is, and then people who just hate that. So, how to look out for those people,
So she's like the people. You're saying Trump is taking it too far. He's grown up.
I know. If he grew up around that, I'd be mad. She grew up, Alaska?
Yeah.
It's
basically the North Pole. She probably makes that joke in her book. I just fat Jewed a joke from Sarah Palin.
You what, Jude?
No.
You being racist.
No, that is the name of a guy on the internet who takes comedians' jokes.
Wow.
He calls himself the Fat Jew. I don't even know if I can say that. Like if you play for the baseball team, can you say that?
Say what?
I can't say it. You ain't supposed to say it no more. The baseball team with the racist name. You're not allowed to say it anymore.
You talk about Washington.
Yeah, you can't say it. You will get a podcast fine.
You get fined for that?
Yep.
That don't surprise me.
You'll get a letter in the mail saying you owe $500.
Yep.
You come really close to saying it. Oh, you know what? I got that letter here. I'll bring it to you. You're supposed to write a check out to me for $500.
I ain't going to do no such thing. If that's a rule or a fine, nobody told me anything about it. And they going to have to come down here and serve me papers. I ain't giving you
Well, they
nothing.
said, okay, they'll make a deal with you. You can give me $25.
You ain't getting a damn thing. No.
All you got to do is give me $25. We'll make this whole thing go away.
I ain't giving you $25.
Okay,
I ain't a sponsor.
$15.
You get the sponsor give you $25. I ain't gonna give you $25. I don't know. We don't talk about football on here anyway, so it ain't that,
$10. It'll be like it never happened.
Well, I wish we would talk about football just a little bit.
Oh, go ahead.
More. Well, Titans been doing terrible for a long time now. They ain't been doing good.
Boring.
All right, fine. Don't talk about football. Go on. What do you want to talk about? Christmas.
Christmas.
It's coming up. Now, see, here's the thing with me and Christmas.
It'll be
and
right around the corner.
Listen to me. This is the thing with me and Christmas. And then they say everybody's trying to attack Christmas. I love Christmas. You won't find a man that loves anything as much as Christmas as me. I love it. They eat old Jackie Claus, got the bed, they put the suit on. I love Christmas. Now, I love Christmas when it is Christmas time. When it's Christmas time, not any other time. Christmas is on Christmas. I don't want to hear Rudolph Red Rain. I don't want none of that. But that stuff starts happening right after Halloween nowadays. So if that's happening right after Halloween, if they trying to wear me out with Christmas, just right after Halloween, then Christmas ain't hurting none. It's doing okay. Christmas could scale back just enough and be on Christmas. I'd be okay with that.
So you think there's too much Christmas?
No, didn't say that. It's
too
early Christmas.
early.
Too early. Have as much Christmas as you want. Have the biggest Christmas that there is. But have it on Christmas or right around that time. Wait till December at least. So when you tell me they're trying to kill Christmas and it ain't Christmas no more, they're coming for it, and I don't doubt that the people that hate Christmas, I don't doubt that. I know there are people like that, all sorts of Grinch and people mad for whatever reasons. But I don't think they're in numbers at this point where it's ready what they call a war.
Well, what if I should run for president because I just thought of a great compromise. I can bring people together.
Yeah.
And there's no scandals on me because everybody knows basically everything about my sex life. And if you don't,
nobody
I'll tell
wants
you.
to know.
And
enough.
I've got some pictures.
Enough. I'm going to get up and...
Am I going to get on Ashley Madison? I don't need to. I can have affairs with ladies just by walking by them and getting where they smell my pheromones.
Hey.
And they'll say, you know what, my vows mean nothing to me. And I say, I know that. And I didn't have to sign up online and pay no money because you're coming to me right now as you are, presenting yourself. Let me put this podcast on. They're like, podcast? What's that? I didn't. What am I getting myself into? I said, baby, you getting yourself into some sweet sex time.
Are you going to sit there and do that? Because I'm ready to go anyway.
I hope you don't have to walk nowhere tomorrow where people are going to notice you walking funny. Like if you have to walk across a stage, maybe you're graduating, or maybe not high school.
Watch your mouth.
Subway thing. I'm just saying maybe they're later in life, maybe they went back to college to better themselves. They got to walk across the stage. I'm saying, look. What's about to happen is going to be obvious.
I'm getting out of here.
However you walk tomorrow.
I've had enough of this.
If you're at Walmart, people are going to say, she fucked Dunlap. And
watch
I can
your
tell.
Mouth. Why do I got to say words like that? Just watch your damn mouth.
I can tell by her gait that she had podcast sex with Dunlap. My plan is the people that hate Christmas, they get Christmas from Halloween until, say, the second week of December. And then the people who really love Christmas, they get Christmas for the 2 weeks where Christmas actually happens. That is a good plan, and I am smart. And I'm so smart and my voice sounds so good that whoever I'm having sex with right now, go ahead and say thank you, baby. Because I know I gave it to you extra good. And not only that, this is the greatest episode of our podcast ever. So you've probably had about 7 orgasms just since the theme song. I hope anybody listening to this has had 7 orgasms since the theme song. Folks, write in. Let me know how many orgasms you had since the theme song. And thanks for listening to this, the greatest episode of the Red State Update, Sexy, Sexy Podcast, Sexy Ever.